all of that started while I was still a school teacher. We didn't start my working career as a school teacher. First of all, I was a scientist working in laboratories, first of all with British Oxygen Company in London, and then I emigrated to the United States and lived in Manhattan for 2 years and worked for a company, changed its name, so I won't bore you what its name was. Then came back after 2 years, went to work for John Knight Limited in London, and then went a bit further afield, Alton Wyborg, and all of those jobs were in the paint industry. Got a bit bored with that, wasn't advancing any further, and started flirting with playing my real love, but that came later, poker. But then I became a school teacher and remained a school teacher for 12 years, and most of that time moving towards being also a professional poker player. That didn't suddenly start, oh, tomorrow I'll be a professional poker player. It's not like that. You just work your way into it as time progresses past. And I eventually became a very strong poker player. It's been said sort of the top 2 or 3 in Britain, perhaps diminishing my status actually, because there's one form of poker called 7-card stud pot limit, which I think I was the best in the world. But that's not such a big thing, because not very many people in America play pot limit 7-card stud, so the competition wasn't very great. People ask me the obvious question, have you played poker all over the world? And the answer is no. Basically, I played in London and in New York when I lived there particularly, and Las Vegas, spread over 20 odd years. I spent about 15 months of my life in Las Vegas, where, of course, there were a lot of strong poker players. At first, they assumed I was a tourist, and rather foolishly, I assumed they would all be tourists in the United States, in Las Vegas. But a lot of them were young professional poker players. Got that wrong. I keep thinking of chess, but it's poker I'm talking about. And I played a lot of that, but made most of my money where the biggest games came, and that was in London at the Victoria Casino latterly. I also spent some years playing at the Sportsman Club, which at that time was in Tottenham Court Road and has now moved a little bit west in London. I haven't been there for years. And to bring the summary to an end in a way, for the moment, I've written 7 books on poker. One of them called Poker 24/7, 35 years of poker pro. I wrote that 5 years before I died. But I've not died. Wait a minute. Well, I died from the point of view of poker in a way, because I retired from playing the game. I did that when I was 71 in 2010. And I retired because I thought I was making too many mistakes, probably because of my advancing age. So I was losing my edge. And having an edge when you're a gambler is very important. In a way, that brings me a lightning start to a lightning stage of where I am now. Right, recording this, I'm about to go on a cruise to the Caribbean. I might play a little blackjack, another game which I made a little money from, in due course. I might play my other game, which I like very much, but I made no money from at all. Bridge. Quite often play that. But that's a pure hobby. You know, there's no money. It costs money, not very much, to play. And I'll be playing that in Torremolinos starting middle January, run by, what's that? I've forgotten their name. Sorry about that. I'll come back to that with the proper name later. That sort of brings my first note to an end.